Hello everyone. I am super excited for this Instagram live because today I'm starting a series of conversations with people I know, people I look up to, and these will be talking threads. These conversations would be named as talking threads, and I'll be talking to people who have really inspired me and have capacity to inspire many other in their journey. I'm very excited to have the season 1 of Talking Threads and the first episode today on the International Day Against Homophobia, Biphobia and Transphobia. And somebody very close to my heart and an inspiration to many would be live with us. I am very much looking forward to have my very dear friend Nitasha Biswas to be with us live with us. So Natasha,
Hi.
hello. That was
How
quite
are
a zoom in,
you?
huh? Just right here.
It's, today's one fine Sunday, and thank you for inviting me over for the first episode
Pleasure.
of.
Natasha, you have to be a little loud. I think तुम्हारा आवाज हल्का है.
Hello. Can you
Yeah.
hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what happens is, like I'm very glad that it's the first episode of your talking threads, and I think
Yes.
thank you for having me over, and it's a great day to be, having.
My pleasure. My pleasure. I'm so excited to have you. And really, it's like deja vu to go back to that memory where we met first time to today.
I
And what
know, I
a
know.
day, Natasha, to do our conversation on a day like this where we are celebrating or fighting and standing for the right for,
Yeah.
yeah.
Absolutely.
So
And just fix the
it's
camera a bit. Yeah.
17th May, we have a long fight to go. And
Yeah.
what is, according to you, homophobia, transphobia, biphobia, according to how would you decode it?
Well, the fear of having someone in your life, or the fear of having something that really, kind of the existence of themselves itself threatens so many
Yeah.
people. I think that is homophobia. It could be any gender, like if we particularly talk about homophobia, transphobia, biphobia, and that is exactly that means the fear of knowing the person, the fear of unknowing the person and just putting in a
Right.
buckets of fear. I think
Right.
that's what it
I
is.
get it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you know how I decode homophobia is जैसे अगर मुझे आम नहीं पसंद और उसको मैं रोज बोलूं मुझे आम खाना पसंद नहीं है, फिर मुझे उसके लिए डिसलाइक होता है, फिर वो मुझे उसके लिए हेट होता है और फिर मुझे उसके लिए अग्रेसिव बिहेवियर आ जाता है, एलर्जी तक हो जाती है, सो एनीथिंग विच वाज डिसलाइक्ड इनिशियली, जब हम छोटा छोटा लोगों के प्रति डिसलाइक क्रिएट करते हैं और उसको
Yeah.
बढ़ने देते हैं तो वो एक फोबिया क्रिएट कर
Of
देता है.
course, of course. Like, it's बहुत दिन से वो, it's in your mind, it's in your heart. You're seeing that thing, and that is, adjoining and creating into a mountain. And then
Yeah.
that is exactly that's forming here.
But how's your life has been this Calcutta bong chick, huh?
So,
To
well,
this,
well, to be honest, like as I mean, most people will know about this journey that I come from West Bengal, Calcutta, and my journey started from Delhi itself of realizing my true, authentic self, that the person I am. So, understanding yourself of who the person you are took some time, and it itself is a journey. You know, I have got and seen so many rejections in life that, over the time, um, that turned into my power. Places where I thought that people would stop me from is the places where I've got my powers from. So that is exactly I was, that is how Nitasha was born and brought up and how she was made into. So, all that, negatives, people will always say so many things. People will always judge on everything. The judgmental category is always a part of life, on so many things. People who will judge on everything is just not a trans woman or a single gay guy or a bi-curious guy, anyone. They would just judge because that's their job. But we are
yeah,
not to do that.
right. But
We're
baby, if I take you back to the memory of you in Calcutta and you young boy in the school, how was life? How was life while you were discovering yourself?
Well, of course, I come from Calcutta and it's a very cultural society, you know. People, like I've been born and brought up by learning poems and arts of Rabindranath Tagore, Qazi Nazrul Islam. So, they are like wonders of literature in my state, So I was born and brought up, and at the same time reading, Toru Dutt's poems to poetries to, William Wordsworth's poems in my Xavier school. So, these things, I think that changes people's mind. As I always say, education is something that changes people's perception as a person. Guns and all these things will not change the world, but education will. And that has been like a word that I've been saying over the years by now. So,
Mm.
I thought that Calcutta people are very calm to understand the matter, but we have maximum number of trans women that even come from Calcutta, West Bengal, and journey has of course been tough. People have rejected me in so many places, including my relatives, my own cousins. But I was happy to have my dad's support, which I forcefully earned it. It's like a forced turn, I would say. I mean, I just went in and said, "You're just gonna throw me. If you throw my things, I'll throw your things." I locked him in the house, and I said, so I had to put a pressure on him, and eventually he had to accept me.
Yeah, because I
So,
have this quote of yours that I told my dad, I'm the reincarnation of your wife. So you
yeah, yeah,
can't
yeah.
throw me out, yeah?
So I told my father that, I lost my mother when I was young. So I lost my mother to cancer. So I was, like, I will never forget my father's contribution to me being educated so far because, he has done his 100% as a mother and as a father, giving the love of both. Because I had a Instagram post recently where on a Mother's Day, I'm wishing my father because, I think he's my mother because I hardly remember when I saw my mother when I was very young. I could only see my mother was always in the hospital, being under treatments and everything. So these little moments in my life has been very like tough, but that tough moments turned into
So Natasha, you never had
power.
your brother as an impression, and then you have a brother, and then you have a father. Two questions. One, to take us to the memory of how was your family life? Was it as a middle class or a affluent? You come, what kind of background you come? And
Yeah,
so many times it is said that because you have girls in the house, you start behaving like a girl.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so these two things about your childhood.
Well, you know what? When I was young, I would like, tell you like this that I come from a government background. My father was an IS officer. He was in the government sector, so I can say upper middle class family. Like a regular family,
Yeah.
as education being the prime thing that has to be done in the home. So something like that. So my father was always very strict about our education, me and my elder brother, that we had to, my father wanted me to be a lawyer because I was very debating kind of a student when I was in school, which I'm still I am. So, so I'm always into fights, always into arguments. So, that has been an ongoing thing for me. So,
Yeah.
having that, I thought maybe lawyer was my profession because that is where I saw I could fit myself into. But then I sat for my CLAT exam and coming from a background which is like an upper middle class family and coming from a family where I've seen my cousins growing as a doctor, engineer, settled abroad, my cousins are in different parts of the world. So, for me, it was quite tough for them to understand who I was.
Mhm.
Initially thinking, people put this mindset that, okay, it's a gay boy, why are you feminine? Okay, these terms, ladies and everything. I've gone through that journey and
Yeah.
I kind of, I mean, why someone has to, periphery names within anything?
Yeah.
Someone who doesn't have legs, I will not call him Langra, right? Someone who
Mhm.
doesn't have eyes, I will not call he can't see.
Mhm.
It's the nature's rule. And people
Mhm.
who think it's not the nature's rule, sorry, you aren't alive, you should die, you know.
I
You
know.
know.
So I was recently told by a friend and who said, Akash, but why do you have, okay, if you're gay, but why are you feminine? Look at Karan Johar and look at Manish Malhotra. And I
Yeah.
say,
Oh, yes, yes, yes. I mean, Karan Johar, I mean, big. I mean, I of course hats off to his beautiful work. But then before Karan Johar, my mentor would be Rituparna Ghosh, who has been one of the biggest.
Oh,
Um,
absolutely. I love him. So is
I
mine.
love Rituparna Ghosh because
Oof.
Karan Johar, but Ritudi was Ritudi. That's like he has
Any
left a legacy,
day, any
you know.
day.
So coming from Calcutta, where Rituparna Ghosh is, I've born and brought up with his, and then her, like when she transformed her movies. So, they open your eyes, you
Yeah,
know.
but this is what, because people have a limited knowledge of gay identities.
हाँ
Like,
हाँ
they also brush paint. या तो हम होने वाले हैं सीधे वो बॉबी डार्लिंग या करण
हाँ
जौहर या वही उतना बॉलीवुड का मास जितना आपने
हाँ
देखा है.
हाँ,
नथिंग एल्स. इट्स
I
ऑलमोस्ट
swear,
लाइक जितने मर्द हैं सब एक से दिखते हैं और जितनी औरतें सब एक से दिखती हैं.
I
तो
swear, I
you
swear,
know,
I
so
know.
there is no differentiation about the LGBTQ community. तभी इतना मुश्किल है लोगों को समझने के लिए.
समझने के लिए बिल्कुल बहुत.
And you
I
know,
swear, because I think Karan Johar as a person, I hope if he listens to this in future and everything, I mean his work is good and everything, but then I mean he was never loud about himself throughout the journey. You hosting Lux Awards, you hosting Rajnigandha Awards will not change people's perception. Just being effeminate. When he does that, he's representing millions of others individuals who are growing seeing him, or how they're growing and seeing him. So that's something like he should have come out long time ago.
yeah,
That's what I say. People like Rituparna Ghosh, people like I forgot the dancer's name. I mean, he just passed away in a very tragic way. The dancer, the traditional dancer
yeah,
from
absolutely,
Rajasthan.
absolutely.
So these are the
Harish,
people I
Queen
look up to.
Harish, Queen Harish.
Yes, her Queen Harish. These are the people I've born in. I've been growing with them and with their the movements, the life, and how they have come out. In fact, Bobby Darling could be a item of joke, but then had the courage to come out in that
Yeah,
time.
yeah, very
Had the
true.
courage
Very
to be a joke in the entire set, but he had the guts that time, and now how he has
true.
transformed to a woman right now.
Yeah, very true. Because
Yeah.
actually, according to me, this is what is phobia all about. That people don't know, they don't want to know, and then they have perceptions about you, right? And then they create these perceptions around you.
I swear, you know what? People are like, you won't believe, people are living in denial. I will tell you one thing, people are living in denial with their sexual orientations. People are living just like how they're living in denial with the coronavirus. I've had millions of messages telling me coronavirus is going to go away when the summer comes. I said, darling, summer is about to end. Summer is about to end in a few months. So I'm like, same as, people are just living in a dream world where they do not understand that who the person is. People had thought themselves as God. People
But
thought
Natasha, how
themselves to
about
be a
you?
big
How about
people, the
yeah? But
world.
how about you breaking
Yeah.
that stereotype? Did you ever thought that one fine day you will be Miss Trans Queen India, and then you will go to internationals, and then you go to Australia, and then you go to TEDx, and then you go to there and there, and then you come to my life?
Uh,
No, I
I know.
mean,
To be very honest with you, I mean, thanks to Trans Queen India that, the pageant came up where our organizer, Ms. Rina Rai, came out with this beautiful, pageant. And it was an opportunity for girls like us. My aim is to see any other trans woman going to Miss India, Miss World, being judged by Shushmita Sen, being judged by Lara Datta, being judged by, all the, other ex-Miss contestants of, Miss World, Miss Universe, everyone. So, I see that, we are again, gender, we don't want to put gender in a bar, that there
yeah.
has to be only, something like trans women's pageant.
बट
Why
फिर
can't
भी
this be a
आसान
pageant?
तो नहीं था ना नताशा.
Of course
जिस
not.
बच्चे को अपना भविष्य का ही नहीं पता था.
हाँ.
I don't know what kind of a life you had, कितना मुश्किलें थी. कभी सोचा नहीं होगा वन फाइन डे तुम यहाँ तक पहुंच जाओगे, राइट? तो
I swear.
वो जर्नी कैसी रही, मतलब कैसे हुआ? मिस ट्रांस क्वीन करना क्यों चाहा तुमने? मतलब ये तो सबके लिए अपॉर्चुनिटी थी, पर तुमने उसको लिया, तुम पहली थी, तुमने मारते जैसे आज लड़कियां तुम्हें देख के अप्लाई कर लेती हैं 10 जगह.
हाँ हाँ.
यू हैड नो वन बट यू हैड योर ओन ड्रीम, योर करेज. तो वो कैसे था, वहां तक पहुंचने का सफर कैसा था?
Well, to be very honest, I'm a person who had very particular visions, very strong. I know what I want to do in my life. I'm very particular, like about if I have 7 goals, I know three how I want to achieve. I'm very particular with things. I believe in going the right processes. I believe in doing the right way. We all have done mistakes in life, and that is where mistakes have taught us to be the person who we are today. I've done millions of mistakes. I've been to wrong places. Done wrong things, and but then I understood that's wrong, and then I've come back on track to do the right thing, because we have to learn from a mistake. The first time when I fell down, and when people pointed fingers at me, I knew, okay, I was wrong, but that is when I started, to make it correct. Because, during my school days, when people used to call me names, like, I was a very calm student at one corner of the, I was a first bencher. I was not a backbencher student. I was the first bencher kind of a person, student. So, being calm, being quiet, listening to the teacher, being calm all the time. People call me names that time as well, like, oh, she's very calm. You know what? That little bullied child, as usual, you'll connect to it. The bullied child, of course, I was one of them. And, coming back home, being scared to go out to play with other boys because they would call names, they would tease me, do things to me. So, these things, they've gathered like a volcano tower, day after day, day after day, like a volcano tower. And I knew what I wanted. I knew at class 8 that this was not possible. It is possible. Going through surgeries, going through HRT therapies, but I didn't know at that young age how to go about it, what to do. But I knew this is possible. So my visions were very clear. I came to from Calcutta. I took a train, Rajdhani train, all by myself. So scared to talk to the co-passengers because it's my first time. I arrived New Delhi and I fell in love with the city. I was like, wow, I'm being myself. Walking into the first LGBTQ party in New Delhi made me feel this is my space. I mean, I felt so me, no judgments, people like me, dressing up, they want to be themselves, made friends. So then I realized the Saturday culture in New Delhi, how Rohit Wal's party in the Janpat Hotel used to happen.
Yeah.
Yes, Shiva.
Were you there?
I
Oh
know.
God.
I, I hope this legacy keeps on moving.
But that's
So
some 10-12 साल पहले, अभी तो होता भी नहीं. Like they were the
I know.
best gay parties.
I know, like it was like those, it was like, like a fancy dress every Saturday that we have to dress up.
Manish, Arora, Rohit,
No, that
what
is
not?
our place which was there. So that is how I again, saw the lifestyle, and then I fell in love with the city because that was my first time away from in Calcutta, and I said this is it, and I have to explore, and that is how it happened. And I started my journey. I did jobs. I accumulated money. I still remember the first check that I got, and I went to the doctor in House St. Leave to start my psychological therapy. So I get my HRT approval. And then my plane came on the run when it began. So then I got into Jabong.com. I was working as a stylist. That is how my journey started.
So I will really, we will go ahead in the conversations. I would just want to go back once again to your school in class 11th.
Yeah.
In class 11th, when your school teacher abused you, harassed you,
Oh, yes.
and you took a stand there and then. So how was
Of
it?
course. Well, I'm a person like I will never stand with the wrong. I will never stand with the wrong. Someone which is wrong is wrong. You know, there are millions of young students like me, when I was young that time, who has been sexually abused,
Yeah.
physically harassed. You know,
Yeah.
a teacher's job is to show what life is, what you're supposed to do, how your life should be, and what you're supposed to be as a young and as a young generation, how you're supposed to grow up and be a good human being, not being physically molested. I have been I've been abused at that young age, and that put me to think that what am I doing? This is not that what am I supposed to do? This is not what am I supposed to be going through? And
Huh.
then I stand like this is wrong. I had to tell my father, my school, my everything. And I think every student till today, there are so many young students who are going through the same phase. They do not have a voice because they're scared to
एक्शन
tell
हुआ उस
the
टीचर
parents.
के खिलाफ या नहीं?
What?
उस टीचर
Yeah.
के खिलाफ कोई एक्शन लिया गया?
Of course, the school. I don't know. I was not. I mean, after that, I had my exams. I heard that he was told to leave the school and something. Then I had my school fathers. I don't know. Like, I didn't keep up track of that because then I left Calcutta and I started my new journey because that my journey, I always knew what I wanted. You know,
Yeah.
these little things of being neglected from childhood, calling names. So I knew what I had to do to myself to change, to have a voice.
Yes.
Voice.
So also, well, I was reading about you and hearing your videos on YouTube and all because I was doing my study, huh? So I love the word you used, which is called reincarnation. I love
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Instead of transformation, the word reincarnation is so powerful. Give us your thought about that.
Of course, I think it's reincarnation because I was always a woman by mind. You know, we had some unfinished job in our previous
Jobs.
life, and that we are completing. Even you are completing in that sense. You know, through your work, through your designs, through your being an activist. Same that I'm doing. We all have a path. We all have a path being designed for us, and that is what we are following. Our spiritual self, our minds, our heart, and that is exactly what we are doing. So I think that I have done the same thing. You know, I mean, this is some unfinished job that I was told to do this job so I can be a millions of people who can understand their journey. You know, I always want to stand for one certain people. Like, five beauty will be five different ways. Priyanka Chopra cannot be Katrina Kaif. Katrina Kaif cannot be Preeti Zinta. They all
Yeah.
have different flavors of beauty. Same as trans women have different
Yeah.
beauty. A trans woman doesn't have to be looking manly. A trans woman can be ultra effeminate more than a biological woman. A trans
Yeah.
woman can be having both the traits. So there's like
Right.
that. Accept whichever form it comes and follow the path. You know, we are the designer of our destiny, so we can absolutely do something good that we want to out of it.
So something which I also want to quote you again is this that लॉकडाउन सिंस 21 years. अभी लोगों को तो एक महीना 2 महीने के लॉकडाउन में ही पता चल गया है.
um, I know people are, like, I have friends who are texting me, oh, I want to go to the club, I want to go here. I'm like, dude, you want to go to the club? There are people dying without food. There are people who do not have food in the house and they're walking 700 kilometers, cycling from Jammu and Kashmir to Assam. I mean, look where humanity has come down to, And you want to, like people don't understand what's a lockdown is. People don't understand what is called quarantine. I have had quarantine days when I was a child, when I understood about my senses. I was in between my four walls, locked up, scared of the society, didn't know what they will treat me as, didn't know how they will say things as, calling me names. And then finally finding myself, I am coming out loud and proud, where people will think two times before, you say something. So, they need to understand what is lockdown. They're just locked down for 2, 3 months and they're cribbing, they're dying, they think their lives are dead. We know what's lockdown and quarantine, and it's for the every LGBTQIA people, not just
Yeah,
a
very
trans
true,
people.
very true. Even those to thank you, Raga, for such a beautiful message. Stay alive, that's the most important thing at the moment. We're trying doing that. So Natasha, transformation doesn't come easy. It's not that aaj socha ki I have to be what I want. It's a medical process. It's a physical, mental process. Then it is also the trauma, the depression, the anxiety, what not.
Absolutely.
What makes it so like कैसे हिम्मत मिलता है? If I just ask you
Well,
that.
you know what, transition, I will be very honest, um, transition is not just about a physical transformation, Being a woman means being graceful, being yourself, being as you want to be, as a calm person. So I'm like a person like, people who are undergoing transition are undergoing a mental trauma at the same time. Your hormones not only play with yourself, there's lot of things going in your cerebral time. That's your cerebellum and cerebellum. That is why psychological evaluation is so important for people who are transition, be it male to female, female to male, anyone. So I'm sure like girls who are in lockdown and in the beginning days of a transition, I have gone through that phase. Must be so tough for them because like I've felt so lonely when I was transitioning as well. And it's very hard, you know. But I think I've been telling that in my Instagram followers and all the girls who follow me that meditate to keep your mind calm. It's more of a mind transformation than your body. It's a mind that has to match with your soul, and you have to have a control over your mind. Your mind needs to be in control of you. That is very important.
So, but Natasha, what next? What's coming next? What's now? What's about now, 2020 and ahead?
Well, 2020, I want the vaccine to be coming out very soon, or something happens that the COVID-19 is vanished. We all are waiting for that. I wish it happens soon. But and then I hope that there is plan B for our industry, that how we create social distancing, and we can create a safe place for our shootings, for our workplace and everything.
What
And
about
I'm
you?
sure.
How is your life gonna be? Kuch projects, kuch kaam, kuch.
Well, I was supposed to do certain good projects, but they're all on halt right now.
Yeah.
So I wish that COVID-19 or there's a
But
plan B.
Natasha, how difficult it is then? How difficult it is for transgenders who are really having no backup? What about
Yeah,
those जिनका family छोड़ देता है, those who are earning day and night?
I know. Especially people who are like daily wages, like trans women who are in daily wages, or even, like so many trans women are forced into sex working because they do not have opportunity to be in the mainstream because they are not allowed to do.
Yeah,
And it's the mainstream who are being, throwing them out, and that's their
yeah.
fault, you know. So, like this thing is happening because I hope the government comes out with a package as they are mentioning in everywhere, 20 lakh crore package. I hope the transgender and the LGBTQI community is included in that
I
for
met
their
her.
well,
Yeah.
you know, because it is important. I'm so glad that so many trans women back in Chennai are creating awareness and giving food to the underprivileged. They themselves are earning in daily wages and they are giving it to the people.
So I tell
Give me
you,
an option if I would have had, I would have done the
yeah,
same.
but it is not easy because Navya, I went for morning walk.
Yeah,
I met a sex worker at morning 6, huh?
yeah,
Uh, at 6 in the morning, that sex worker says me, and I say, "Arey, abhi kaise bahar ho?" And you know me, I like to pick anyone and talk. She says, "हमको AIDS से डर नहीं लगता, हमको कोरोना से क्या डर लगेगा?"
yeah.
And then they say all they're looking for is money and survival, and all they want is their hunger to be solved.
Absolutely. I agree to that.
So,
Well, I think this is, like survival of the, it's a survival thing. There's so many girls who do not have the right, education been missing. Parents has been missing. I wish family, say everybody's with their loved ones right now. Everybody's running from different countries back to their home country just to be with their family because they're all scared of their life. If I get the virus and I reach the hospital, what if I die? You know, Imagine about these girls. They do not have a family. They do not have a support. They do not have, they do not have that basic mindset that how to even. The other day I felt so bad in one of the TikTok videos. I was seeing this man, you know, he was given sanitizer. People are making fun out of it, but I did not find that funny at all. He was drinking the sanitizer. Then I realized, what's the condition of a country? A person is supposed to, use a sanitizer as cleaning the hands. The man was drinking it. I mean, I was feeling that where is the education level to the basic
so
underprivileged?
education, it's almost, this is how people are surviving. This is how survival
Yeah,
is used too. But, and you know, Natasha, I think education, I doubt because those people who said we are criminalized in 2013 Supreme Court.
Yeah, I know.
are very much educated, and they were the judges of the country. And then, I think somewhere
I know.
empathy and love for humanity is bigger than education.
Obviously. I
You
mean,
know?
education would be like one of the ways to do it,
Yeah.
but then empathy and, you know, I think that, this, it's a time of reform. A lot of reform is happening, a lot of changes are happening. I wish that the government comes up with the mainstream organizations where gay individuals, transgender individuals are running their community because they will understand the problems nothing better than the ministers that they're doing. I have respect for them, but they need organization and people to do this. No
Yes.
yawning.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, I'm so sorry. I just went into that zone with you. It was almost like a story what you were saying to me.
I know, like, probably, once if you see into the depth of the matter, we are, the struggle is ongoing for
Yeah.
us. For you, for me, it's never ending. People are, they need different mindsets and everything,
No,
but
I
then it's
don't
all.
need oxygen. I need my caffeine. I need my coffee. Oh, shit.
I have my
Oh,
green
God.
tea. My green tea.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. But so if I just take it ahead and take
Akash,
you.
in your talk show, you must have a green tea in the conversation or a
Okay.
coffee. Yeah.
Okay. Only if
Okay.
Lipton is
Lipton.
going to sponsor
Lipton.
me then.
Yes, Lipton
No,
has to
no.
stop.
No, but
I,
if I ask you, what makes you stay positive and happy?
well, this is thank you for the question. A lot of people have been asking about this thing that I'm a very positive person. I've had friends who have always come up to me and they have told me that whenever they are sad or in denial or some kind of confusion, I'm very happy that my friends come up to me for suggestion. In fact, day before yesterday, one of my dear friends came up as well regarding this. She was asking me, Nitasha, help me. I'm a positive person at a very young age, very honestly speaking. I've seen so much of negatives in my life. I've seen so much of fightings in my life. I've seen so much of breaking things in my life that, I always try to stay positive within because if I will not stay, then there'll be no solution,
Yeah.
we get gripped by being negative. You have to be positive. Any situation, I always see the positive part. Even when COVID-19 started, initially I used to think maybe it's a cleanse to the earth. We have done a lot of bad things to the earth. They needed a cleanse, of the environment, having bushfire from November, Australia dying, then, this hailstorms. So maybe this COVID-19, I was seeing the positive parts that people had to change their mindset. COVID-19, like I was saying, being an example. Otherwise, being positive is the only mantra to your life because I believe a lot of places you feel negative, but never give up. Never give up. There are places if I start sharing my life, I felt like giving up, but then I said, nope, there's no giving up. There cannot be a giving up. You have a path and a spiritual way to do it, and you have to do it, and that's what I feel.
But that must not be easy. So if I ask you some rapid fire questions, right? Them jali
Oh,
jali.
yes, I love rapid fires. But
So
where is the hamper? I need my hamper.
hamper is one face mask with a bottle of sanitizer back home.
Oh my God, I love it. I want two more.
Yeah, so I have five rapid fire questions with you. So if you were not to be Natasha Biswas, but a woman or a man, what would you choose and why?
Um, I would choose
Born
to
as.
be. I would be born as Shushmita Sen. I love her
Ah,
women power. I love her dictation power. I think
yeah,
she's a dictator in the right way. I
yeah,
always have seen her as a power, with a woman of substance and a woman of power,
right.
and she is.
So, because you
I'm
said
born.
Sushmita, my next rapid fire is this: that would you adopt a girl child or a boy and why?
I want to adopt both.
Hmm.
I want to adopt a girl and a boy both and give them all that I couldn't get as a boy and all
Yeah,
that is all that I'm going now.
yeah. So diamonds or boyfriends?
Sorry, just one more time.
Diamonds or boyfriends?
Diamonds.
Diamonds.
Yes.
Uh,
They'll be staying in my finger until I remove it. Boyfriends will not be.
one man,
You,
if you would to marry to this famous Bollywood man.
um, to be honest, there is no one in Bollywood that I want to marry. I'm sorry about that. Not really.
Hollywood?
Hollywood, yes. I think I always liked George Clooney. I
Oh,
have him, yeah.
yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
And then
That's
Leonardo DiCaprio. And then Tom
wow.
Cruise.
Ah.
Three. I don't mind wearing the beautiful white dress with three.
Great. So if I ask you, tell me the first thing comes to your mind after this word, okay?
Yeah.
Uh Pageants,
Beauty.
crown,
I didn't get that. Your voice was
crown,
cracking again.
crown, crown, crown.
Down. Responsibility.
Love,
Emotions.
friendship,
Us.
black.
My hair.
So, Natasha, before I let you go, and
I don't
any
want to
message?
go. I want
Yeah.
my son.
So, any message for the community, our community, LGBTQ community who are young and look up to you?
Well, I have one, I have like a lot of messages, but one of them on the priority list would be um, to all those listeners and the people who are there, everybody over there, remember life is one. You're living it. Live it with dignity and pride and be the true self you are. Be authentic and live it from this hour. You do not know what's coming up tomorrow.
Yeah.
So, live it. I always said in my previous thing, जिंदगी लंबी नहीं, जिंदगी लंबी नहीं, जिंदगी बड़ी होनी चाहिए.
Yeah.
So, dreams right from now, and that's for everyone.
And I think that is how you have lived, Natasha.
Of
जिंदगी बहुत
course,
लंबी आपकी रहे, बहुत बड़ी आपकी जिंदगी है, and बहुत सी बड़ी बड़ी चीजें आप पाएं. And thank you for coming and doing this live
thank,
with me.
thank you for
And
having me.
I wish you all the best and hope soon we get out of the lockdown and work and meet
Let
and
me catch a train.
party.
I need my hamper.
Thank you. Bye.
Love. Bye.
Oh, so this has been my day one, season one, episode one of Talking Threads. I've been very nervous today. I've been very nervous in this communication because I was doing something first time. Thank you, Raga. Your wishes and your support matters a lot. So it was really not, you know, this whole anxiety of doing it all over again, चाहे मैंने conversations और ऐसे कम्युनिकेशंस कितनी बार करे हो, पर आज पहली बार क्योंकि कुछ नया कर रहे थे तो एक अलग सा एंजाइटी था और एक एक नर्वसनेस थी. बट दिस इज व्हाट लाइफ इज. लाइफ should always be taken with fresh breath, and this is how it is going to be. I love you all, and I wish you all to stay bright and stay shiny. And remember, homophobia is an illness. So if you're homophobic, you're ill, not the people who are from the community who are ill. Lots and love. Shine bright diamonds, out loud proud. Bye.